So the first thing I want to ask is, does working for Netflix, does that give you any more leeway than working on like a regular TV show or feature film?
Well, I mean, it does overall, but technically we work for DreamWorks, and then DreamWorks basically, has a partnership with Netflix. Netflix has been amazing. We want to say, I don't want to say hands off because they absolutely care about the show, but they are incredibly friendly to the creative process. So they really allow us to make the show that we want to make.
Yeah, and it's been really fortunate for us to be able to make a show for a streaming service where serialized content is preferred. A lot of times when you're making a show for a network where you can't really control the order it's being viewed in when it goes into syndication, serialized content is usually kind of, we don't want it. We want every episode to stand on its own. So we actually get to make our show for a platform that
Embraces
it.
Yeah.
Well, stuff like that can kill shows. Firefly is a good example of that,
I mean, that, and Firefly, I think, released now would be a very different reaction and a very different, situation. It's almost ahead of its time, I'd say.
So you guys, I want to say a couple years ago, you guys released a Voltron VR experience. What would a Voltron game be like if you guys were in charge?
Yeah.
I mean, we consulted a little bit on it. I think the VR experience is still emerging. VR in general is still emerging. I think we are both huge gamers and huge fans of a ton of different genres. I could personally see like a Voltron action RPG that sort of has you doing a bunch of stuff and interacting and building relationships and having,
I would say like probably the video game closest would be like a Mass Effect type of game where you have the action and the cool stuff, but you also have this world that you explore. So.
What are you guys playing right now, and what are you playing? Switch, PS4, Xbox, and what games?
Oh my goodness! Go for it.
Breath of the Wild is a big one for me. Switch has been super, super handy. I got a pretty young kid, so that took away my game time. I buy a lot of games now, and then they sit in the box and don't really do much. But Breath of the Wild has allowed me to sort of take the system anywhere I go and play it for like 5-minute increments.
Yeah, same. I'm in between games right now. I finished Breath of the Wild. I just played Horizon Zero Dawn like way late in the game, but I really enjoyed it. And I have The Witcher 3. I still haven't played it sitting there, and I keep meaning to get into it.
It's too big.
It's like a 100-hour game, though.
Too big.
That's the thing. I'm scared I won't have enough time. I don't want to forget the controls in the middle of it, which I tend to do. If I get pulled away, I forget the controls, and I go back. I don't know how to play the game. But much like Joaquin, having the Switch kind of blew my mind because I could take that game anywhere. It was amazing.
Oh, I recently played, what was it? Was it, good Lord, I can't think of the name. Was it Blood Moon? It was like a little 8-bit thing on Switch that was like sort of like the pre-story to a game that's coming out.
Geez, that doesn't narrow it down. Let me think. I can't even think. You're like 8-bit precursor. I'm like, oh, geez. Yeah, there's so many on the Switch.
It's a modern one, obviously. I want to say it was Curse of the Moon, Blood something.
Celeste? Is that one or? Okay.
No, it was basically like a spiritual successor to Castlevania. It's amazing.
Oh, Bloodstain or Blood?
Bloodstained?
Yeah.
I think it's Bloodstained. I think you got it.
There you go.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And easy for dad mode, where I don't have time to like grind on something. It gives you the option, and it'll say you can play on easy and you won't be penalized.
Did you guys ever have any interest in moving over to the interactive space at all? Like, producing video games, stuff like that?
Not opposed at all.
No,
we've just kind of been in storytelling mode for animation for so long. But I love video games, and I would love to get an opportunity to work on one at some point.
Same. I think also, we wouldn't presume to know that they're, I don't want to say they're apples and oranges. There's obviously crossover, but it's a different medium, and it comes with its own set of challenges. But we're huge gamers and fans.
What's interesting is that the Ratchet and Clank movie used assets from the game
right.
Directly into the movie. Of course, they were touched up, but they used the same models and everything.
I mean,
you could do it for Voltron.
That's the way things are going for sure. Yeah, I mean, we definitely have that ability, specifically the Lions.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.